Hey guys, it's Kevin with the New Warehouse podcast here in the Resonant Link booth at MODEX for our Power Talks collaborative series with them. And I am joined by Kyle Smart and Joe Koch of Yale Lift Truck Technologies. And we're going to talk a little bit about automation and robotics with them today. So Joe and Kyle, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having us.
Definitely happy to have you over here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about robotics and why would you want to use robotics?
Robotic lift trucks are positioned to be able to move product both horizontally and vertically now, be able to ultimately scale automation within the warehouse, finding the right solution, of course, that fits that application. Why would you automate? Is you
Right.
certainly want to be able to leverage technology, support again those use cases and those flows that are able to be automated, right? To again just optimize and really change the way that your operation is working today, and have
Right.
that technology work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's great insights there. And I'm curious, are you guys, when you said you're looking to, make those robotic lift trucks and things like that, and a familiar form factor, right, for people, are you taking traditional Yale trucks and you're just making those automated? How does that work at Yale Lift Truck Technologies?
At Yale, what we are is taking your everyday lift truck, and we build them as robotic lift trucks.
Yeah.
So they're built within the manufacturing process for repeatability, quality, and scale. Most importantly, that gives, of course, provides the ability to have dual mode use, be able to easily interface and recover those vehicles when they're operating as robots, if need be. And then, arguably most importantly, is to be able to also lean on our great Yale dealer network to have service and support of these solutions within your facilities.
Yeah.
Through parts and expertise. Maintain that equipment to the level that is needed to be able to support now automating those use cases.
Interesting. Yeah. And I think it's really great that you guys have that kind of history too behind you, right? As you built out the trucks, and now adding that technology component to it is a great thing. So I'm curious, as we look at automation in general and robotics, do you guys think that people should be going fully autonomous and having fully automated facilities, fully automated fleets, or should there be some kind of balance there?
Yeah, great question. I think in terms of full automation, I think most operations are going to have use cases that still require a level of human intelligence, right? And that varies based upon your operation and what industry you're in, of course. Certainly, tackling the horizontal applications that are set up for success. I'd recommend really starting there and learning more about the technology, embracing that culture change, that operational change when necessary, scale vertically, really break it down by use case. I think full automation is possible, but there's still going to be certain use cases that require that human intelligence that robots just aren't best suited for, right? And so working with someone who can come alongside you and help you understand that, right, is really key. In doing so, those use cases that are going to need to be supported by manned lift trucks still, in the spirit of having promoting safety, embracing innovation and technology on that equipment as well. That's really where our operator assist systems can support. Just again having technology across all of your trucks now, whether they're fully automated or not. And Joe here can talk a little bit more about that technology and how does that fit and fit within the fleet and then defer from your fully automated line.
Yeah, so when you look at, just like Kyle said, when you look at the operations that are being had, not every operation is going to be fully autonomous, and especially in a manufacturing site and that of a warehousing. It's a little bit easier for having more autonomy. But with your operator turnover being at 40%, they're going to need assistance, right, to keep that efficiency going, to keep that productivity going. And that's where, solutions like Yale Reliant can really come into play to assist the operator on the job. Whether that's the stability system that we have with advanced dynamic stability, or a LiDAR solution, or fully RTLS, real-time location sensing solution inside the worksite, which is essentially almost like a semi-autonomous vehicle communicating back to the truck to triangulate position and give business rules back to that truck for maybe end aisle slowdown, or speed limitation zones, or mass limitations, all sorts of things that we can do with that kind of technology to help increase that efficiency, but keep those operators still in sight and have robots working side by side with it as well.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting in the semi-autonomous approach that you just mentioned. I mean, tell us a little bit more about that in the Yale Reliant, and how that's really not only helping from the autonomous perspective, but also even from like a safety perspective overall.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's that turnover of 40%, and there's more demand than ever, especially with the e-commerce boom. We're going to need more and more employees to fill those roles, and that's a lot of inexperienced operators. So what we did with the Yale Reliant is we developed this advanced dynamic stability that calculates the center of gravity of the truck through various inputs and measurables that we have, which it doesn't have to go through a lookup table to do and tier up. It's always changing and always adapting with the truck. So depending on that mass speed, that mass height, that mass tilt, the load on the mass as well, with the truck center of gravity, we're going to help the operator by limiting their speed slightly until they recorrect. It's really like an onboard training mechanism as well. A seasoned operator really won't feel any difference with the vehicle, as long as they're operating the way that OSHA has instructed them to operate as an operator. But those new ones that maybe it's a new truck for them, or they have to a new task and they don't really know where their fork's at, we can tell them how high their forks are, the weight, the speed that they're going to be going, the speed that they're limited to, and then that actually connects directly with detection systems. So with LiDAR, or object detection with Yale Reliant, which is turning with the vehicle with steer angle sensor, right? So we're in the path of travel, so we don't want to over alarm and over slow down in an aisleway. So we have programmed that to work with the vehicle in real time to dynamically adapt the speed and control your load, so you're not throwing loads, so you're not pitching it, so you're not overloading as well. So we have a lot of influence from a lot of customers that we went around to really look to see what we could do to build a product. And then we have ultra wideband, which really helps as well from a proximity detection standpoint to get those blind corners of maybe where pedestrians are operating, or maybe there's a robot that's operating in that area and you want to detect that too, or truck to truck. And then there's the RTLS factor, the real-time location sensing that we have for that kind of semi-autonomous kind of vehicle, where you can put all those business rules in there. That's all done through Yale Reliant, through the base of what we started with, advanced dynamic stability. So.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic tool to have within the space too. As you mentioned, the labor challenges there, and sometimes you have to get a little creative, and sometimes those forklift operators, experienced, especially reach truck drivers, are very hard to find these days.
Absolutely,
and for a decent price too, I would say. So sometimes you get creative. You take maybe a packer and say, oh, you're interested in learning a forklift, but having that kind of safety aspect to it, and those tools additionally, really makes a difference in being able to help them get along without doing something that's potentially dangerous, getting them up and running too fast or too soon, giving them that kind of almost peace of mind as an operator.
It builds confidence with them, right? I mean, that's the key there. And I think that's one thing that is maybe lacking in the new workforce is their push for efficiency and productivity. So enable for them to build that confidence, like you're saying, they know that they're protected in the back with a 1.5 mile per hour slowdown when they do detect something with that LiDAR, right? So
absolutely. And I'm curious too. We talked about kind of going fully autonomous or semi-autonomous and all these different options. I mean, how do you really navigate as an operator? Where's the balance? How do I figure out the balance between, what should be autonomous versus what should still be people?
Yeah, I mean, it's those tasks that Kyle mentioned earlier about, more of the monotonous tasks, I guess you want to say, maybe staging or, final delivery of having that product there. And then having the more skilled tasks go to those operators that, that humans can really solve on the fly, right? And have that human intuition to really resolve the solution at hand. I mean, not the solution at hand, but you know what I mean. The situation at hand. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a long week, so
I mean, I think in general, when you're kind of looking to solve between what could be semi-autonomous and how can I utilize the Reliant solution. When do I lean on fully autonomous with Yale Robotics. It's in addition to what Joe mentioned, right? I think the biggest aspect of each of those use cases, if they're monotonous and repetitive, what are you moving, right, within your facility, right? What's that load quality, that pallet quality? What are the sizes and weights of again the material that you're producing as a business, right? That's going to be probably that's going to be the other factor, right, and the driving kind of the driving point between discerning between what technology is the right fit.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great technology in the industry, right, that's being embraced, but those factors that everyone deals with, right, within warehouse and manufacturing, even if they say, right, they've got the best quality pallets known to man, right, it's rarely true. And so we realize and understand those challenges, and so that's where we can help to discern what technology to utilize, find those loads that are good quality, repeatable, right? Something that's, whether it's a robot with forks, of course, whether you're maybe tugging loads around the facility, and you can then mitigate those considerations. But that's really gonna be the other factor too, to really making that decision on which route to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really great insights there. And you want to add something, Joe?
Oh no, I'm good. I don't know why you passed this to me.
But it's just teeing you up. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I mean, it's a pleasure to talk to you guys, and really good to get these insights around kind of autonomy and autonomous and robotics and the human balance within that. It's great that you guys are focusing on both sides of the table, and also providing those tools like Yale Reliant to make things safer as well. If people wanted to learn more about Yale Lift Truck Technologies, what's the best way to do that?
You can go on our website and contact us through our emerging tech page. You reach out to us and say you want robotics, telemetry, or operator assist systems, as well as aftermarket bolt-on options too.
All right, great, fantastic. So, Joe, pleasure.
Thank
Kyle,
you.
Hey,
pleasure.
thank you.
All right, thank you both for coming by today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep.
Cool.